Nintendo's stock is crashing, down 33% in just the last half year. That's the kind of story that should be making headlines all over the planet. And yet not many people are discussing it. Today we'll tell you the shocking reason that one of the biggest entertainment companies on the planet is suddenly suffering, and it might have very little to do with Nintendo itself. We'll explain on the other side. Hello folks, like a warp pipe to level 8, or is it world 8? We are here to bring you the great news you need to know every single day, 4 times a day. And we're always grabbing that invincibility star. Folks, as we go into what's happening with Nintendo, click the like button, drop a comment down below, and we'll tell you it looks like AI may be affecting some of the companies that you didn't expect in ways not anticipated. And we'll wade into what's really going on. Uh-oh, Nintendo going low? What's this you say? Well, folks, we'll tell you what's on the way for the video game industry right now. Out of Bounding into Comics by Ryan Pearson. Despite massive Switch 2 sales success, Nintendo stock price drops 33% over the last 5 months. Can you imagine, folks? If Disney was doing this, what would we be saying? But yet, it's happening to Nintendo. How could it be? Why should it be? Well, we'll tell you. And guess what? It doesn't seem to be because of Nintendo. No, really, we'll explain. Though nearly every metric shows Nintendo is currently enjoying an impressive run of Switch 2 LED success, not LED success, LED success, the drastic drop in their overall stock value across the last few months shows that investors still have some major concerns regarding the company's future performance. Not performande, but, well, I do like performande. Bounding, I'm giving you a hard time, but gotta love the performande. Here we go. Per a report by GameSpark, Nintendo's stock price in Japan has fallen an estimated 30 to 33% over the last 5 months, with its January 13th closing price of, well, you see, 62.69 USD. That is down from 63.03 since April of 2025. First time shares have fallen at least below that number since April 2025. It's actually fallen farther. Notably, this drop comes despite the gangbusters debut of Switch 2, which comes after its June 2025 release managed to prove itself the Nintendo's fastest selling console, if not the fastest selling of all time. 10 million units have been sold as of September 2025. You get the idea. So what's going on here? Well, here's what it says. The uncertainty is caused, essentially, because of concerns that exist regarding operating profit growth, which may not match the pace of sales. Now, that is a lot of stuff to say to get to this next point. A further hammer blow expected from the surge in RAM prices due to AI, which GameSpark theorizes will likely to continue squeezing profits for the next few years. Culture, the fear here is that the cost of components, because of AI, because of all of these data centers that are going up, the cost to get these components is going to make consoles, and in particular the Switch 2, far more expensive to get a hold of these things, and thus the profit margins are going to shrink for Nintendo, and they may even have to increase the price of the Switch 2. Culture, what say you? And should people be buying consoles and computers while they can right now before the price goes up, perhaps after the Super Bowl?
Well, I can agree with this to some extent. It's 100% right. We have about 2 years of unrelenting grab for memory and video chips and everything else associated with AI. That's undoubtable. It's already happening. But I think it's even more so that Nintendo's not just a hardware company, they're a software company, and they are not producing a series of software titles, first-party titles, that, it has the interest of the people that are purchasing their console. We're having a PS5 experience all over again. You can announce a great improvement in your console technology, and you can even have some retro, backward compatible nature to it all, except it's going to cost you an extra 20 or 40 bucks. It's not just the cash grab that comes with that access to the retro games, but it's also the element of the fact that there's no library here. This is one of the reasons why PS5 is more than halfway through its current generation, and they've introduced their upgraded, pro version or whatever else and all of that garbage. But we still don't have a definitive catalog of games that is native there. I mean, there are many other reasons as well, including the backward steps or the absolute sprint away from progress when it comes to gaming with the latest hire for Nintendo of America CEO, who has decided
Well,
to take the.
She's been there a long time, though, Culture. She's been there, what, like 16 years? She's been put in that position now.
She was put in a position of power to only make hey, we're going to make this more woke speech. So, I mean, let's just be honest. There are many factors here. And if you feel like as an investor that the company is not in tune with the times and is taking giant steps backwards, I think you'll be a little bit nervous. And I think that explains the last 5 months, which is when this stock dive occurred. Do I think it's going to stop anytime soon? No, because they're not wrong. Console prices are going to have to increase, but software, they don't have any. Is there any title you're excited to see from Nintendo first party or any third party title that you're super stoked about? I don't think whatever Highland or High Ground or whatever the heck that thing is going to be very popular. It seems like it's going to be DOA. And up until GTA 6, which I don't think anybody's going to be able to play on the Switch right away, I think that's going to be delayed as well. There's really not anything anybody's looking forward to. I would say gaming is at one of the most, at least AAA gaming is at one of the most dead points ever in the history of gaming. And independent games you can get cheaply on Steam. And recent studies have come out, and I put this in the video I'm dropping for tomorrow on this matter, to say this. Studies show that games sell the best between $20 and $40. And Nintendo's willing to explore the upper echelon of gaming.
Yeah, Nintendo's what up at, like, for Switch 2 premium titles, 70, 80 bucks?
60, 70, 80. I mean, they're getting into GTA 6 mode. And that's where Take-Two and Rockstar want games to be at $100. You're going to pay $100 for a little tiny cartridge that doesn't even have the game on it, and that you're going to have to maintain a license for, and that isn't freely transferable to, one direction or the other. That's a real problem. And I think Nintendo is going to become guilty of being accused of being greedy. And that's because they are.
Well, let me go to Lauren on this. Lauren, Culture has listed out quite the catalog of sins for Nintendo. And maybe they are having a rough time. Maybe it's a rough patch. And they need to send out some stuff. Hey, Super Smash Brothers, the next one, we'll take that. But the case may be that all of it could be true. But Lauren, setting some of that aside for a moment, is this the time for PC gamers, console gamers, maybe even people interested in buying a phone, a high-level phone right now? Should they be looking at, I better buy it right now because AI costs and RAM costs and all this stuff is going to go through the roof? It might even hurt the stocks of companies like Nintendo who can't afford this right now.
There's been some really interesting things happening in the PC market, and it's kind of difficult to determine which direction it's going to go. Everybody's absolutely right that RAM prices are going to explode for years. And I saw some people asking in the chat, well, why don't they just increase manufacturing? And the issue is that essentially the supply has been entirely bought up, and you have pipeline issues. You have the amount that you can produce, and as soon as you produce it, it's already sold. It's a scaling problem, and it will take a while to solve. There's also the issue that you have a trend going on towards virtualization, and they're really pushing towards terminalizing your PC.
Cloud processing, right?
Yes, they really, really don't want you owning your software. They want you renting everything. This is something that has been a really big push for Windows 11 as well. And you're starting to see, for the first time, a significant number of people switching from Windows to Linux. And part of the reason that that's happening is because they've actually got a pretty decent interpolation layer now where you can run Windows software on Linux in many cases. And so Steam has been behind a lot of that with their Proton layer, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited to see the Steam machine make a push when it gets released. I think what you're going to see is a trend towards, we've been very wasteful especially because of the bloat in Windows about how much memory you actually need to have. I think you're going to see a trend in being more efficient in making sure that your software is optimized and eking more performance out with less. That's going to take a while to catch up to where the market is, but I think it'll be a net positive for consumers over the long run, especially with Linux making an aggressive push into the market.
Jeremy, one of the things that we're paying attention to is, AI is also going to affect games, and not just on the side of coding or making games, but also Elon Musk is talking about aspirationally, he'd like to own a studio where the AI is generating in the cloud an original game nobody's ever played before for you to enjoy, like a dungeon crawler where the dungeon is always brand new and not just like the items are randomized and you don't, but like, oh my gosh, it's making new enemies. It's making new, classes like right there, right then. And that is going to drive these prices even higher, I would suspect, too, on the consumer side. Jeremy, what do you think? Is all of this worth it? Is it all worth it in the end for where we're going? The pain that people are going to feel at the with price tags when it comes to, buying up tech, when tech companies that, OpenAI, Microsoft, all of these companies, Grok, are spending like crazy and outbuying the consumer?
Yeah. So, my passion is in guitars. And after shutdown, we saw the pipeline dry up for precious metals, copper, aluminum, nickel, silver. Those all go into guitar pickups. And what's happened is once the old stock of those materials was gone, to get a good pickup made the way you want them, the prices went through the roof from $50 to $150. And the market is suffering so badly right now. So I'm looking at this as a parallel. Once the new old stock of what's already been purchased and what's been allocated goes away, you have to decide if first, do you want to preserve something? Is it worth preserving the physical media world? And culture makes this argument all the time to preserve that, to make sure you have physical copies. Because if all you have is a software key, then your access is controlled. And what Elon's suggesting would change the entire world in gaming, for sure.
It's a red arrow for the industry. There's no doubt about it. Culture, your thoughts?
No, I agree. And despite the amazing descriptive that you gave to Elon's idea, having persistence and evolution happen all at the same time, that's extraordinary. It's for games like Star Citizen and stuff like that to discuss. But it simultaneously at the time is that worth what the prices will have to pay in the future for the regular, ordinary, everyday things that Jeremy was just talking about? I don't know that I necessarily agree. I think technology expansion and development for the sake of doing that, it doesn't make sense. Even Elon makes an argument against that for when he talks about the hyper development of the Optimus robots in the future and the fact that basically all they'll be doing is reiterating themselves and starting to build products for themselves because we won't need anything that they make for people anymore. And that's going to be, so what's the purpose of all these robots then? So it just becomes a larger and a larger conversation when you dive down, the various pathways that are going to be laid out in front of us.
The robots are crazy because, Elon says, and who knows, but man, you don't bet against that guy anymore. If you had just purchased stock that Elon was involved in, you'd be doing a heck of a job. But his claim is that we're going to have, I think by 2040, he said in the most recent interview, by 2040, he expects the number of humanoid robots to outnumber the number of humans.
Yeah, and he's not wrong.
If they're working all the time, folks, I know it sounds crazy, but let's just play it out. If Elon's right, Mr. lands a rocket again, for the first time in human history. If we've got double the number of human-like individuals on the planet, okay, and I know they're not humans, I get that, but in terms of if they're actually doing human work, then you double the GDP.
Shame on you, sir. Have you ever seen The Measure of a Man?
Well, it's even big. It's even bigger than that because I'm going to say that he further reiterated in the last couple of days. I was listening to his podcast when he was doing it live that everybody's going to have medical care that rivals what the president gets today.
That's what he says.
Yeah, because these robots are going to be surgeons, essentially. I mean, you'll have 10 million surgeons all of a sudden.
Right. That's the claims.
Which sounds great for people because you interpret that as my medical care is going to get much better. But that also means that you're extending lives, which means we will never get rid of the people in Congress.
I don't know about that. I think they get rid of themselves over time. But like I said,
I was worried about like North Korea, and these other places. And Lord's like, nope.
Nah,
Congress is worse.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, this is an incredible subject. And again, I love Nintendo. I really do. And Bowser wasn't the answer. That's for darn sure for Nintendo of America. But as an overall corporation, I like them. It's still under high quality leadership. Nintendo of America is not. And as somebody pointed out in the chat earlier, Pro, I'm not sure if you saw it, that the lady they just put in charge, the Devin Pritchard lady they just put in charge, she's the one who is leading the charge against emulation and preservation, which is something I'm a big fan of. Jeremy pointed that out.
Is she better or worse than the cornbread Karen CEO of Cracker Barrel? That's the question.
Oh, I don't know. I think she fits right in with Sweet Baby Inc.
Oh, no, he had to say it. Hey, folks, we got to head out of here, but here's the bottom line.
We got one more story.
If you think that robots and the AI and all of that stuff is going to bring forth a utopia, then you're fine. You don't mind paying more for a Nintendo Switch. But if you're cynical and you say, no way, this AI stuff, it's going to be a bubble, it's going to burst, it's not going to be what they say, then you're going to be awful angry when those Switches and Xboxes and PlayStations and PCs double in price. But either way, it's coming. Pulling Hollyweird to the sensible center, the mainstream middle where money is made is not easy, but folks, you make it easy to make videos each and every day because sharing time with you is a great honor and we never take it lightly. An attitude of gratitude every single time we have the chance to shine with you. Until the next time, we only ask that you click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, don't worry about paying any kind of tuition for this free class and how entertainment works. You are on scholarship. Highest IQ on the internet, that's you for sure. Until the next time we have the opportunity to spend time together, folks, we just ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.